I know the pains of a Shopify business owner. Where are your sales going to come in? How do I get consistent sales? And I'm telling you right now, email marketing is the #1 method to get consistent sales. Hi, how you doing? My name's Jason. I've been in e-commerce since 2011. Most of the time has been on the selling side. So I used to sell on eBay. That's when I started out in 2011. Sold little things on eBay. And then I heard about Amazon and I started just selling bits on Amazon. Then I did Amazon drop shipping. And then I moved on to private label on Amazon and made my own little brand. Did really well with that. I think I got about $1 million in my second year, which was really, really great. But Amazon started to scare me. There was all people getting banned and listings getting taken down. So I thought, you know what? I want to learn business through Shopify. I really want to get onto Shopify so I can control my own business. I don't want to be at the whim of Amazon or a platform like that. So that's when I moved on to Shopify in 2019. Sold on that for about 5 years. And that's when I realized how powerful email marketing is. I know the pains of a Shopify business owner. Where are your sales going to come in? How do I get consistent sales? And I'm telling you right now, email marketing is the #1 method to get consistent sales. All our automations during this time made money on autopilot. All the campaigns, every single time we sent a campaign, boom, there was a spike. You could see the graph. Every time there was an email day, boom, a spike. Every campaign made money. So a few years ago in 2022, I decided to help a local guy to me, get him set up on email. So at the time, he was doing about 50 grand a month on his online store. And he was doing all right. I mean, 50 grand a month is pretty good. But he had zero automation set up, and he was only sending a campaign here and there, just like when he felt like it. Oh, right, send one here, send one there, maybe 2, 3, 4 a month, something like that. So I got him set up, and within a month, it was up 30%, and then another month up again, another 30%. So let me just show you now what it was like when I started with him compared to what it's like now. So at the time, you can see here, this is July 2022. 233. So he has physical stores as well. So only 50 grand of that was from the online store. And at the time, basically nothing with email marketing. He didn't know what he was doing. So yeah, that's when I joined. I said, I can help you out here. Fast forward to today, and we can see what's going on. So total revenue nearly doubled. 210,000 of that from this month is actually online store. So his online store is now overtaking his shops, and he's getting 131,000 of that through email marketing alone. Now there's loads of automation set up in this account. I've been working on it for a few years now, and we send 4 campaigns every single week, and every single time they make money. So, you can see the power of email marketing here. He did not start spending more money on ads. He didn't start doing more Facebook ads. He only has like one retargeting ad. He does like £10 a day. He does mainly Google ads, and he did not increase his ad spend. Sure, he added new products and little tweaks around the site and things like that. But the majority of his growth came through email marketing, and he did not spend more money on ads. I'm going to just say that one more time. So that's the power of email marketing. When I first joined, he had about 16,000 people who were opening emails, and now it's up to 60,000. So we set up a really high converting pop-up. We just collect emails day after day after day after day. And now that's at 60,000 people who are opening and looking at emails, on a weekly or daily basis. So I'm just going to jump into another account now, where I'm going to show you the power of just automations, because this account was sending a few campaigns, a few more, but they had zero automation set up. So you can see here in May 2024, they were doing 93,000 in that month, and they had no automations. I mean, we did move them from MailChimp, so that's why it says 0. But in the month of June, we started getting them set up on automations only, and then check out the difference. So let me just scroll over to July. So obviously June, we built everything out, and then July, things started moving a little bit more. So 93,000 in that month, and then, a month of setup, and then boom, an extra 47,000 pounds just about. Well, really, it's an extra, 40,000 in total revenue, but 47,000 through email marketing. And that was with just automations. I mean, we didn't do many campaigns at the time. And if we fast forward to today for this client, so this is like a year later, And then boom, here we go. 213,000 in the last month. And now 86,000 is through email marketing. And again, he's not spending more money on ads. He's not increased his budget for ads. He does a little bit on Facebook and again, mainly Google. So hugely powerful here. Email marketing is just so important for any e-commerce business. How does it work? How does email marketing do this? So obviously you set up a pop-up and you gather email addresses. The bigger your email list grows, the more people you have to send campaigns to, the more people that buy over time. So, and also let's have a look at automation. So I'm just going to take you through an example here of a classic scenario. So this guy here, he was active on site. It was, October 3rd last year. So 1:43 a.m., whatever, he's up at night and he's viewing a product. He's subscribed to email marketing. Then he's viewing a product, added to cart, active on site again, whatever, not sure. And then the next day, well, same day really, 9:46 a.m., he woke up and he saw an email and he opened the email. And then boom, viewed product, active on site, added to cart, added another product to cart, and then boom, placed order. That is how email marketing works. It brings people back to your site. If this guy had not seen the email, then he wouldn't have come back to the site. He was awake late at night. And do you think he's going to wake up the next day and go, oh, let me check that business again that I was looking at last night. I really want to buy that product. I don't think so. I just don't think he would do that without the email being there. Probably first thing he did in the morning, he opened his phone, looked at his email inbox. He's like, oh yeah, that thing. Oh yeah, click on it, check it out, view, buy. So that is how powerful email marketing is. It brings people back for a fraction of the cost of ads. So I'm just going to run you through a few automations now, just to show you the power of, all these triggers and, how they can work for your business as well. So let's just do last 30 days because it looks better. And then we'll filter by revenue there. So obviously the welcome series, when people sign up for the very first time, they get a bunch of, an email spread out over a 2-week period, and introducing the site, introducing the products. And that is always going to be like your number one money earner. And then browse, abandon, flow. So if anyone's just on the site, they're just looking at a product and then they don't start the checkout, it brings them back. The thank you flow. This one is, not just good customer service. If somebody makes a purchase and then you send them an email, thank you, and you showcase some other products, they can often buy again immediately. I mean, you can look at that there. It's $5,000 a month there. That is a really powerful email. But not only that, but it engages people into your emails so that when you're sending campaigns, then they are engaged and then they will receive your campaigns as well. So abandon cart, abandon checkout, these are the classics. People get to the cart, they get to the checkout, they don't buy, they go away, and then, email marketing brings them back again. Abandon collection flow, they're just looking in one collection, but they don't look at a product. This brings them back again. Customer win back, maybe they haven't bought from you for, 3 months, half a year, whatever it may be. This email goes out, it says, hey, where have you been? Come back, check out what's new. Site abandoned. So if they're just on the site, they don't view a collection, they don't view a product, nothing. They're just on the site briefly, and then they go away, and that brings them back again. And then what else we got? Sunset unengaged. This is just for cleaning the list, but you can see it still makes a little bit of money. I mean, look at the numbers down here. Of course, 600, 500, 500, 300. They're not huge numbers, but you add them all up, and you've got multiple thousands, and then take that over throughout the whole year, and you've got tens and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands. So this is the power of automations. I mean, I'm not going to go through all the rest here, but there's a load of automations. All of these are working in the background on autopilot. You don't have to do anything else. You just set them up, boom, off they go. And then here's the power of campaigns. So let's just go through a little list here. So this is obviously recently, and then have a look at this. So this was sent today. It's already made $2,000. This one was yesterday, $5,500. The other day, 1.7. All right, that one didn't do too well. That's 900, and then 136. That was a follow-up one. So those follow-up ones often do less. And then $4,000, and then 737, and then $4,000, 1.2, 3.5. You can see each one of these emails is making multiple thousands of pounds or dollars, whatever it is, every time it's sent. So it's just hugely powerful, email marketing. What it does is it helps you stay top of mind. If somebody likes your products and they like your site and they buy or they don't buy, but staying top of mind is the most important thing, because you've got to bring them back again without spending more money on ads. And that's exactly what email marketing does. So amazingly, you could actually have not a very well optimized site, but having email marketing in place will increase your conversion rate. Personally, I think it's the best conversion rate tool there is. Maybe you haven't got the button exactly right, or, it's not the right color. A lot of people go crazy for conversion rate optimization. It is important, but your site may not be perfect, but email marketing will increase your conversion rate again and again over time. So I hear a lot of business owners say that they don't think email marketing will work for their business, or they don't want to annoy people, or the people don't check emails anymore, or they even say that they don't buy from emails. They look at emails and they don't actually buy from emails. I mean, this couldn't be further from the truth. Maybe they don't do it, or maybe one person, or you hear someone talking about it. Oh, I never check email, or I never buy from emails. These anecdotal scenarios are just not true in the broad sense of things. Email marketing is here to stay. It is 100% powerful. If you hit the right people at the right time, which can only happen with email marketing, because you're sending emails again and again, you will make sales from it. You 100% will. And especially as well with your flows, if they are interested, they're expressing interest, you bring them back again. Now, if you just think about some statistics, right? More than half the population of the earth has an email address. You have to have an email address. If you sign up to a local gym, or you go in a group or something, or, maybe you need a new passport, you got to pay your taxes, whatever it is, you need an email address for absolutely everything. You can't survive as a functioning member of society without an email address. And not only that, but people are checking their email on a daily basis. I looked up a statistic, and I read that at least 88% of people are checking their emails on a daily basis. And actually, I looked up another statistic, and only 64%, well, it's still a lot, but 64% of people go on social media every day. But that's a huge difference. I mean, that's 24% difference between people checking their email every day and people going on social media every day. So email marketing is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. I like to think of it as like checking your post. You always get your post, you always look at it. All right, that's good, that's not good, whatever. But you're checking, you're 100% checking. Email is similar to that. It's personal to the person. It belongs to them. No one else is looking at it, and they are checking it every single day. So when your emails pop up in people's inbox and it's the right time, or it's interesting, or, they just feel like clicking on it, whatever it is, you're there, you're going to be there, and they're going to be checking, and you'll be there to be in their, top of mind for them all regularly. And if you're not in the top of mind of your customers, what are they going to do? Well, next time they need a product, the first thing they're going to do, they're going to go on Google, or they're going to go on Amazon. They're going to do their product research again if you're not in the top of their minds. And when that happens, you've lost that customer. They might go find a competitor, and then that competitors do email marketing, and then they'll stay with that competitor. So, just staying top of mind is so important, for an e-commerce store. And again, it's a fraction of the cost of ads. All right. And lastly, I just want to talk about one last thing that, why email marketing is so important. You have complete control over it, right? You could say whatever you want. You can run whatever promotion you want. You can design it however you want. If you're on Meta or Google, or you're selling on Amazon, you've got a lot of restrictions in place. You can't say exactly what you want. You can't design something exactly like you want. Google have these restrictions where you can't have too much text on the ad. Meta have so many restrictions on what you can say and what you're allowed to promote, especially in the health space or anything that can, help improve someone's lives. You can't make these big, bold claims, but in email marketing, you can. And, with Amazon, forget about it. You can't even talk to your customers. So if you got an Amazon business and your website as well, really think about trying to improve your website, because you own all that customer data. You'll own them. They're yours to talk to in however you want. You're not going to get banned for saying crazy things in emails. I mean, obviously to a certain limit, you've got to, not make false claims, but, you've got a lot more free reign when it comes to, your marketing messages within email. So we've established the fact that, email marketing brings people back to your store again and again. We've established the fact that everybody, a functioning member of society has to have an email address. We've established the fact that everyone is opening their email on a daily basis. So if you have not got email marketing set up at all, and you've got an e-commerce business, please set it up now. It is 100% imperative for the survival of your business. Get it set up now. And if you are doing a bit of email marketing, but it's not making at least 30% of revenue, then there's a lot of work to be done. And so there are three options you've got, right? The first option, you could try, learn a bit on YouTube. You can, look at articles. You can try and piece it all together bit by bit. But I promise you, if you do it this way, you're going to miss stuff. You will 100% miss certain really important aspects. You sometimes don't know what to look for. You don't know what is missing. It's like talking to, when you're networking, someone might tell you something that you would never have thought of. So when you're trying to search for things on, on YouTube or whatever, you sometimes don't know what to look for. So you're going to miss a huge piece of the puzzle if you're trying to figure it out on your own. Option number two, you can join my Skool group, and within there, I'm going to be in there all the time, but within there, I've got a 9-step course to email marketing success. I value this at $1,000, mainly because I did a course on email marketing, years ago that cost $1,000, but it's not going to cost $1,000. It's just one tiny subscription that, you pay on a monthly basis. And, if you want to come in, be there for 1 month, 2 months, and then go away, fine, go for it. You want to just do the course, get set up, fine, off you go, and it's not going to cost near $1,000. But also within the group, we've got 200 mix and match templates, which completely simplifies the design process. You can mix these around, you can see what's working. And I've got a whole course on how to do that, how to design campaigns in under an hour. It's really clear and really obvious what to do. And especially with these 200 mix and match these templates, it just really makes it a lot easier. Then I got a bunch of ideas that you can use, ideas that work for any business. You could just scroll through and see which ones might work for you. I've got suggested apps in there. I'm going to add some other courses. I also talk about, other aspects of e-commerce, whether it's Facebook, Google, SEO. I know about everything. As I said, I had my own Shopify store, so I know a little bit about everything. But obviously, email marketing is my main interest. And then, I'm going to be in the group. I'm going to be, answering people's questions. I'll do video replies. I'll even jump in your account if you need some extra help. I can just jump in and help figure something out. And then lastly, what I really love about this is I'm going to be doing free monthly work. So if you stick around, I'm going to be offering free monthly work. So it might be an audit. It might be, a campaign calendar. It might be some subject lines. There's a bunch of free work that you can choose from if you stick around in the group. And that's available to anyone who's there for at least 1 month, And, I like to call it a done with you email marketing agency. So if you don't want to spend a bunch of money on an agency, or you just want to keep it in-house, this is for you, because I take you through the whole process. The whole 9-step, course is exactly in order, and I'm there all the time helping everybody out. So that's why I like to call it a done with you email marketing agency. But option number 3, if you are ready to take the plunge and, you want a full professional setup in less than 30 days, then obviously, my agency can take care of it. And, just book a call with me. The link's in the description. The link for the Skool group is also in the description. And, it's got everything you need there. There's everything you need to get set up. So again, if you're not doing email marketing, or you haven't quite got it set up properly, it's not working for you, please take action. It is just so important for your business. This is my calling. I'm desperate for e-commerce businesses to see the power of email marketing, just as I did, just as my clients have done. And, you definitely won't regret it. I promise you.